We've just finished conducting a study in England, and this was a prospective study, so people did not have diabetes at the start, and we followed them forward in time to see who develops diabetes, and we linked that to the intake of dairy products and other foods. And a unique feature of this study, it is in the EPIC Norfolk study, is that we have detailed dietary data from 7-day food diaries. Now this is quite different to the standard literature which is out there, which is all based on food frequency questionnaires. So this gave us a distinct advantage of much more detailed and comprehensive dietary data. With that, we were able to do an analysis which showed that while there was no association between total dairy products and incidence of diabetes, low-fat fermented dairy products were inversely associated with a 24% reduced risk of diabetes. And specifically, yogurt made up somewhere around 87% of the low-fat fermented dairy products, and that was associated with a 28% reduced risk of diabetes. It's possible that total dairy did not show an association because we have differences in the associations with the individual components that make up the total dairy. The fact that fermented dairy products in particular were associated with a reduced risk probably points to additional things that happen to dairy during the fermentation process. So dairy has a huge amount of nutrient density. It's a good type of food, dairy as a whole, with vitamins, minerals, possibly the good type of saturated fatty acids in terms of 15 and 17 carbon chain length fatty acids. But additionally, fermentation probably is giving us the advantage of probiotic effects. That's likely to play a part. All our dietary guidelines are based on the notion that all saturated fat has adverse health effects for cardiovascular disease, but we think this work contributes towards reopening that understanding now for diabetes, in terms of whether the dairy fat is different in terms of its quality, and that not all saturated fat is homogeneous, and there are nuances in the sources of these dietary fats, and dairy products seem to be associated with probably good quality fat. There's evidence for this from other work. Of course, no piece of work is totally new in isolation. There was some nice work from the Harvard group who had shown that trans fats that are from the ruminant products can also be beneficial. Our work adds meaningfully to the already known work on the possible protective effects of dairy products, particularly fermented dairy products, and yogurt intake in particular as part of that for the prevention of diabetes. But we have to always preface that with no single food or food group alone works in isolation, and we must place this in the context of overall healthy diets and healthy lifestyles.